Okay, wow, it has been 2 months since I passed my test and I'm only just filming this video, so honestly, accurate. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, I have had a driving, let's just say, journey, and by journey I mean the hardest 2 years of my entire life. Basically, long story short, I passed my test I was about to say second time. I passed my test on the 6th time. I was taking my test for a year, learning for 2 years, and that's basically the story of Balamori. I passed my test 2 months ago, finally, and I've basically been filming Drive With Me's on my channel for the past year, and we've created a bit of a community here. So yeah, I get so many people asking me for tips for the test. I'm guessing because you think I've got enough experience, having done 6 of them. So yeah, I just thought it was time to do a video where I just give you my best tips for the driving test, just to give you the best chance of passing, you know. So yeah, this is being brought to you from my own car. Who'd have thought we'd actually be here one day, but we really are. We're out here doing it. So yeah, if you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe, check out some of my other driving videos. There's a lot of them, and just the other videos in general. And yeah, we're gonna get started. So I'm just gonna basically run you through how to pass your test, and if you don't, then please don't kill me. Okay, so let's start from the day before. So you've booked in your test, you've had your final lesson, and it's the night before the test. Okay, you need to get a good night's sleep. I say this because on my, I think it was my 4th test, honestly, what difference does it make? I had a really bad night's sleep the night before, and when I went to do the test, I definitely felt like my concentration just wasn't there, and that's why I failed. So make sure you get a good night's sleep, and by good night's sleep, I mean a good 8 hours sleep. On an average night, I'll get like 6 hours sleep, but that's not enough for a driving test. You need to be on it, like you need to be on it, especially if you do it in the morning. One night of your life, just go to sleep early, put your phone away, and just go to sleep, please. It's obvious, it's just going to make sure your brain's fresh, you're not feeling drowsy. It's actually more safe to have sleep when you're driving, believe it or not. So yeah, definitely get a good night's sleep. In terms of like the evening before and like the day before, just have a really chilled one, like whether that means watching Friends, going to chill with your own friends if you have any. I can't relate. I'm joking, I have 2. Have a bath, have a soak. Even if you don't normally have baths, have one that night because it's a special one. Also get a good dinner in. I feel like I'm your mum now, but just get a good dinner in. Get a nice nutritious meal in. So your brain's just working top notch. You're alert, you're full, you're revitalized. This is your chance to get your body ready for the test, because guess what? You're gonna pass it. Okay, so now we're through to the morning. You've had an amazing sleep, you had a great evening, you had your favorite dinner, you watched some Friends. Now it's the morning of the test and you're shitting it. Out of my 6 times, I found it easiest to wake up that tiny bit earlier, just so I could just lie there in bed, watch YouTube, go through Instagram, and just, again, not even think about it, just chill. Because I feel like, I've said this before, the more chill you are, the more relaxed you are, the better you're going to do in the test, the better you're going to drive, the safer you're going to be. It's just, you need to be chill. I mean, not too chill, but you know what I mean. Okay, again, mother mode. Have a good breakfast. I know I said have a good dinner, but have a good breakfast too. Guess what? This is something I feel like people don't talk about. But, okay, someone's literally staring at me in the face. Okay, this is awkward. So yeah, basically every test I got really hungry, so make sure you have a really good meal before, and on top of that, bring a snack, because either when you're waiting before in your lesson or just when you're sat in the test centre, make yourself at home, have a snack, just chill. It's your time. Also stay hydrated, and to counter that, go for a wee. Staying hydrated is an obvious one. It's just going to make you concentrate better. You should be drinking water, you know, you should be peeing like 6 to 8 times a day. I say this to everyone, it really stresses me out when people don't even get me started on that. But yeah, make sure you're drinking enough water, and bring some water with you, because my mouth got so dry in that test every single time. Honestly, I couldn't even speak. So yeah, bring some water to have just before you go on your test, or just to bring in the car with you. And another thing I'm going to prepare you for, you might need a wee just before the test, because like I said, if you are drinking water, it's only natural. And also, I just needed a wee because I was nervous. This is so stupid. I feel like this is so stupid, but also people don't talk about it. There will probably be a toilet in your test centre, so once you're in there, just locate it. It'll probably be right there. And yeah, that became my best friend. I would literally go in there, go for a wee, look myself in the mirror and say, you've got this. And on the 6th one, it finally worked. So again, for just before the test, obviously you're going through your show me, tell me questions. You're obviously thinking about the test because it's literally about to happen. But if you can, try and have like half an hour where you're, again, just not thinking about it. You're watching a YouTube video, going through Instagram, anything. Just try not to focus on it for a good half an hour just before. Just because it's just going to let you relax a bit. And again, like I said, you're going to drive better if you're relaxed. So yeah. Okay, now we're on to the test. Here we go. So in terms of when you're actually on the test, for me, I panicked straight away. And on my previous tests, I was just panicking and I didn't do anything about it. But on my 6th test, I was like, listen, you're panicking, you're gonna panic, it's your driving test, it's a big deal. So I was literally there just before I set off and I was just deep breathing. My guy next to me was like, what the hell is she doing? I was just like, I closed my eyes. So yeah, I did that just before we set off, and then I started feeling nervous again when we got onto the dual carriageway. And again, I was there on the dual carriageway. Obviously not closing my eyes because getting 70. But I was literally deep breathing. It was actually helping. Like I could feel my heart rate going down. I could feel myself chill out. Because when you really think about it, you are just driving. You've been doing this for so long. You've been doing this in your lessons. It's no different. So yeah, deep breathing is a definite. I feel like that's the reason I passed. Honestly, I do. Okay, treat it as a lesson and don't try to drive perfectly. The main thing is to drive safely. Wow, I'm really good at this. So yeah, like I said, this is a test and obviously it's different to a lesson, but you have to treat it like it's a lesson, because I know that in your lessons, you've been killing it. You've been killing it, otherwise you wouldn't be doing the test. So yeah, treat it like a lesson in terms of no one's going to drive perfectly even when they pass the test. So what's the point in trying to drive perfectly on the test? It's not accurate. It's not how people drive in real life, so what's the point? So yeah, don't have in your head that you can't make any mistakes and you can't get into any situations that you didn't plan for. The main thing is, and what they look for, is that you deal with things safely. I was doing my reverse parallel park and it took me about 15 minutes, but because I did it safely, I passed. So yeah, just make sure the situations you get yourself in, for example, if you're in the wrong lane at a roundabout, I've been there about 5 times, just stay in your lane. If you're in a left only lane, just go left. You can't fail for going the wrong way safely. That is something that I didn't know, because the amount of times I was heading the wrong way and then freaked out and tried to go the right way and then did it unsafely and then failed is actually a joke. So yeah, don't have in your head that you need to drive perfectly, because guess what? You're probably not. And if you do get yourself in a sticky situation, just deal with it safely. You know how to do this. You've got this. Trust me. Oh my god. Oh, trust me, you've got this. Okay, if anything feels like it went wrong, completely forget about it and carry on. The worst thing would be failing because you freaked out over something you didn't even fail on. Bitch. Okay. So yeah, like I said, with the whole driving perfectly thing, you're probably not going to. There's probably going to be a couple of mistakes here and there. Like I said, I drive every day to work, and honestly I question whether I should be driving. So yeah, if you have made a little mistake and you think you've failed on it, there's no point in thinking about it, because they make you do the test anyway. It's a piss take, but they do. And if you ask them if you failed, they can't tell you. Trust me, I asked on every test if I'd failed when I'd failed, and they couldn't tell me anyway. So there's no point in getting stressed over it, because they're just going to tell you when you get back anyway. So if you do think you've failed, or you do think you messed up, I know it's hard, but just forget it. Carry on driving, because there's a chance you didn't even fail on it anyway, and if you did, then you would have had to do the rest of the test anyway. So honestly, it's a waste of energy. Trust me, I learned that. Okay, so in terms of signs, because we all love a good road sign, just make sure you're looking out for signs that could catch you out. For example, speed signs. My instructor was telling me about a story of a guy who literally drove perfectly, and then on the way back into the test center, he was driving 40 when it was 30. And he failed. So just keep a lookout for one-way signs. You know, the stuff that could catch you out. Just keep an eye out for it, because that's the most annoying thing to fail on. Again, even if you do fail on that, not that we're even thinking about failing, but you know what I mean. It's not a big deal. I miss signs all the time. I'm pretty sure I drove in a bus lane the other day, so I'm waiting for that ticket to come. Okay, so things like hill starts. Again, like I said, the calmer you are, the better you're gonna drive. In one of my tests, like I said earlier, I was doing a hill start and my leg was literally shaking, and I rolled back and the guy had to grab the wheel and press the brake, and it was honestly probably one of the most traumatic times of my life. So to avoid that, you can pause. You don't have to go straight away. Just make sure you've got the bite, make sure you're breathing, and then let go of the handbrake. Just remember, you can take your time. They can see you're on a test, they can see you're a learner, and honestly, even now, I don't give a shit anymore. Guess what? They're gonna have to deal with it. You would rather take that tiny bit extra time of making sure you're in the right position to go than just going and rolling back and having an experience like your girl did in her third test, I want to say. Okay, maneuvers. Maneuvers, everyone's favorite part of the test. So you're gonna have your favorite maneuvers, you're gonna have your least favorite maneuvers, but guess what, you're gonna get one of them. Is it 2? I can't even remember. So yeah, make sure you're practicing them all in your lessons. And when it comes to the maneuver, again, like I've said about 10 times, it's probably not gonna go perfectly. In my 6th test, when I actually passed, I took 15 minutes to do a reverse parallel park. Just deep that for a second. I took 15 minutes, but I passed it because I did it safely. So yeah, depending on your nerves and just how you are as a driver, it might not go as smoothly as it's gone in the lessons. I'm just gonna prepare you for it now. But as long as you do it safely, and as long as you get between those lines, what are they gonna do? Really, what are they gonna do? I mean, they could do a lot, but you know what I mean, just chill. Okay, final few just random tips. So this is something that I found out a lot later on in my driving journey. Apparently, most people fail in the first 5 minutes or the last 5 minutes of the test, which thinking back, definitely happened with me. Most of mine, I think I failed within the first 5-10 minutes, just because I think that's when the nerves are the highest. And then obviously in the last 5 minutes, you're probably winding down and your attention isn't as good. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Obviously, like I said, still stay chilled out. But in the first 5 minutes, try not to be as anxious, because that's probably the reason most people fail in the first 5 minutes. And if you think the test has gone really well, don't F yourself over in the last 5-10 minutes. Keep alert and keep focused, because that's the last thing you want, is failing just before you get to the test centre. I've heard some horror stories about that and I'd rather not go into it. Observations. You've probably heard that a lot before, but they love it. They absolutely love to see a nice mirror check. They love a nice blind spot check here and there. You need to keep your observations, just observe like you've never observed before. Even while you're just driving, just have a look. Have a look at your surroundings, you know? Because if there is a hazard, then you want to know about it before you get to it. Trust me. So yeah, I think that's pretty much my tips for the test. Just remember, you would not be doing the test if you couldn't drive. Trust me. You can drive, and the test does not define how well you can drive. I failed multiple tests and the next day I was driving fine. Just remember, you are in control of the car. You have got this. Look at me. Literally, look at me dead in the eye. Look at me dead in the eye. You've got this. You've got this. Are you dumb? You've got this. So yeah, good luck if you are taking your tests. I really, really, really hope you pass. Use these tips. Stay safe. Stay calm. Trust me, I know what it feels like, and people don't like to make a big deal out of driving, but guess what? It is a big deal. I'm just gonna say it, it's a big deal. So yeah, if you want any more tips, just message me on Instagram, check out some of my other videos. And yeah, hide your wives, hide your kids, hide your husbands. You're gonna be on the road before you know it.